Hello and welcome to the latest Craftmania Sunday Showcase. Today I have a brand new collection and loads of samples to share with you, and hopefully will inspire you with a few new ideas. But before we begin, I'd like to ask you a favour. If you don't mind terribly, we'd appreciate it if you could share our video, whether that be on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter or whatever medium you're watching this through. It would be really appreciated if you could just click the share button and share it with your friends and family for us. So, with no further ado, let's have a little look at the collection today. Now, these items are not for sale individually this week, I'm afraid. We've got very, very limited stock, so it is only a mega bundle offer. But they will hopefully come in singly later on in the year, but at the moment they are just as a bundle. But we will tell you the individual prices so you can see the incredible value you're getting. So we're going to start off here. This is our edgeable die, and that one should be £9.99. We then have our large background die. This one should be £15.99. We then have our intricate large background die. That one again should be £15.99. Then we have our sentiment die, which is £6.99. This is perfectly spaced for you to add your greeting in the middle part here. Moving on, we have our another border die. This one again is £6.99. And then to spice things up a bit, we also have a set of stamps. There's actually two sets in total, but this is your first set. You've got some really lovely intricate sets of Art Deco ladies on these ones, and some nice little text bits as well. They're really nicely cut and very deep impressions, so you're going to get really good stamped images with these. Moving on to your next set, which is quite nice with this one, we also have that little stamped piece which matches the sentiment die from earlier as well. And we also have a couple of bits of text that will also fit in the middle of the die as well. So they're really well thought out stamps to go with the actual die sets here, all made and designed by the same people. Also, to coordinate, we have a matching embossing folder. Now this one should be £5.99, and by the way, your stamps, I never told you, but they again should be £5.99 each. So just in case you're trying to tally up how much of an incredible offer this is, that is £5.99. And then moving on, we're going to spoil you even more than that. We've got 2 packets of vellum. Now you have a silver pack. In here is 12 sheets. So you're going to get 2 sheets of each design. So you've got this sort of fan style. I'm hoping you're going to see this okay. These are so metallic and shiny. They might be a bit of a nightmare to pick up, but they're just so beautiful. I think you're going to really like these. We then have a diamond design. We then have more of a scalloped circle design again, a bit like a rainbow one. Then we have my favourite. I love this one. This is a really intricate sort of flourished background. Then we have a smaller diamond at the back here. And then to finish off, we have these again, which is more of a floral background. And in your set, you're going to get a silver set of those, giving you 12 sheets. And there's also a bronzy gold colour set. Again, exactly the same designs. So you've got the floral, the diamond, the flourish, the scalloped, and so on and so forth. So in total, you're actually going to get 24 sheets of your printed foiled vellum. So these are just lovely. They're so sumptuous. You just, oh, they're amazing. Love these. So you're going to have your 24 sheets, your embossing folder, your stamps, and your 5 dies. Now in total, all of that lot should cost you £89.90. But for this week only, you can have your Sunday Showcase offer price of only £65. So that's an incredible saving there for you, and one that you're just going to love. This set has got so many options and things you can do with it that you're just going to be crafting forever. I've only had a day to make all my stuff, and I just wanted to carry on and on and on. There's just so much you can do with this set. And I didn't do Christmas today. I've stayed away from Christmas because, as I said before, well, I've sort of done a lot of Christmas, but this again would be perfect for Christmas, especially like the foiled vellums. There's so much you could do with them. Now last week we introduced something new to you. We did a new essentials pack of papers, which gave you all of the different paper designs I'd used for last week's cards. Well, this week we've done a new set for you. So this doesn't come included in your bundle price, but it's a separate bundle. Now you don't have to buy that bundle. If you just see these bits and you want them, you're more than welcome to purchase just this. Or if you do buy the mega bundle and you want to add this on, this is pretty much a little bit of everything else I've used to make my samples with that you're going to see in just a moment. So in total here, you're going to get £18.54's worth of products for only £13.91. Now what that price is going to get you is we have a pinwheel full of embellishment pins, which are brilliant because you can colour them if you want to, use alcohol markers, Sharpies, anything like that if you wish to colour them to match in with your your projects, or of course you can keep them plain as I have in mine. You're also going to get 3 sheets of peel-offs. We've got a gold, a black and a white. Now the black is probably the easiest to show you here. You're going to get lines in the full length on here and the half length, and then these really nice Art Deco corners. You're going to get to see them on some of the things I've made today, so that you'll see how lovely they look when you actually use them. And the good bit is if you've got other colours, you could take out the middles and offset them into the other colours and play about with them a bit like that, so continue your sort of Art Deco feel. You're also going to get a metre of black lace, and you're also going to get one, or braid I should say, sorry. You're also going to get a gold metre as well. And these are really lovely to work with. They've just got such a nice depth to them that they're going to really work well on your projects. And you'll see a box and a card I've made with mine shortly. You're also going to get 3 sheets of mesh. You've got all silver, all black and all gold. Now these normally retail for £1.35 a sheet. So again, you can see how you're getting really good value out of this pack. And these are really good too because although they're as one sheet, they're so easy to cut between the actual sort of rhinestones if you wish to. You can break them up and make frames and borders and bits like that really easily with them. Again, you'll see that on some of my samples. You're also going to get a packet of these. Now these are like a flocked sticky back sticker as such. You actually feel the flock on the top of it and they're stuck onto like a clear tape. So when you peel these off, you can just stick them straight down and any colour you put underneath them will show through. So you can really tone them into what you're doing quite easily. These are only £1.99 if you wanted to buy them separately, but of course in your bundle you're getting them at an even cheaper price. And then we have some 12 by 12s as well. So this is the same design, you're getting 2 sheets of this. They're both double-sided obviously. I've gone for more the Art Deco side of it in my samples today, but of course you could save a little bit for another travel project at a later date if you wanted to. But you're going to get 2 of that one. And then this one's lovely, it's a very sort of Hollywood Art Deco style. Again, they're double-sided, so same on the reverse as what we're seeing on the fronts, or opposites I should say. But yeah, you've got the star design and then you've got this lovely sort of scalloped embellishment as well that matches in with your dies too. So there are your different pieces. As I say, that is your second bundle, so this is like your essential bundle, we'll call this one. So that is £18.54's worth of value, and you can purchase just that if you want to for £13.91. But of course it would work really well if you added that to the Mega Bundle and went wild, and then you can make everything I have, and you'll have all the dies, all the embellishments that you need to get going on this little lot. So let's show you a few of the things I've been making, shall we? So if we start off at the back here, we have just a simple A4 piece of card that I've just scored a couple of times to make sort of my folding style. On the top of the gold card at the back here, hopefully you're going to see these. These are them lovely foiled vellums. So we have that gorgeous sort of just half moon star one, and I've got the silver on the outside and then that sort of gold colour as we go into the middle, and I've replicated that on the other side, silver in the middle. And then I've used that braid that comes out of your Essentials pack to go down the middle of all 3 of the silver panels. As for the dies, we've got that gorgeous edgeable die. I've just cut 2 of them and stuck them onto the back of my middle panel. I've also cut a 3rd one, but as you can see this is a lot smaller. I've literally just cut it down on one of the sizes just to make it a bit smaller, and then that way we could just post that in behind this gap instead. On the front here is that really nice intricate backing panel, that's this one. Just show you that because we're hiding quite a bit of that on this card, but it's so beautiful that I don't want you to miss that that's in there. Then we have one of the sets of stamps, one of the ladies off one of the sets of stamps, and then this is a separate verse. This doesn't come in with that, but it is available in store or online if you'd like that little verse. But of course that could say anything. I just like the way it worked in conjunction with her sort of standing there. Works well, doesn't it? Then we'll move forward to the next one. So for the next one I've gone for a bit of a bold project. This is my little stand-in box as such. Now around the top we have the black braid that you see from your Essentials pack. On the very top of the box we have our embossing folder just done on some gold mirror card. And then this is actually that sentiment die, as we've called it, which is this one, and I've just cut it in half so that I could have it standing at the top of my box, because I just quite like the top half of that, to show you that sort of shape and different effect and way to use it. And then round the actual sides of the boxes, if I open this out you can see it a bit better, we have the different panels and the different stamps popped onto that one. So same backing panel as I just showed you for the last card, this time done in black and put onto gold mirror. And then we have the 4 different ladies from the 2 different sets of stamps. So that works quite well, doesn't it? And then this side we have 4 little drawers that you could fill full of chocolates or jewellery or gifts or makeup, depending on who you're giving it to and for what the reason is. And then it all neatly folds up back into the centre. Now I've gone a little bit OTT with this. I've even put tissue paper inside the little drawers, and I've stamped on it with the same stamped images that match the outside. So if you wish to do that, you could then sort of fill them full of your gifts or chocolates or whatever you wish to finish it off. So that's that one. Now I have so many of these stars. I'm going to show you this one because that matches that one. So this one again pulls from the same colour scheme and style as the box, so it'd make a lovely set if you did want to give them together. So we have the same backing panel done on the gold. We have the 4 images hidden behind here, hopefully you can see all of those, with the same ladies' honours that go around the box. And then we have the other large backing panel, that's this one, in the middle. Isn't that beautiful when it's cut? These dies are so intricate that when you work with them you're just going to be amazed how detailed they are and how intricate they are. And how easy they cut as well. I know you might not recognise these because they are a new brand to us, but don't worry about struggling to get them out. They cut really well, they come out of the dies really well, they're really lovely to work with. At the top here we have another edgeable, and that's actually on a little pull-up piece as well, so if you want to, I've stamped on my one, but you could write your little message on there or add a sentiment if you wish to. Then down the side we have one of the border dies. Now this border die does just literally cut as a border. That was this little one that I showed you earlier, is $6.99 one. That does just cut as a freestanding element, so it will just pop off. And then I've just attached mine on the back with a bit of double-sided tape to keep it sticking out from the edge. And then on the sides here we have the edgeable again, done in full and then stuck onto them ones. And that's card number 3. Moving forward, we'll have a look at number 4. So this one's just to show you how lovely that vellum is really. That's such a gorgeous vellum to work with, and you just don't want to hide it away. It's just so lovely and so glossy and so just sumptuous really. So I've actually wrapped my aperture card in that. I've cut the aperture out by hand to match the one that's in the card, and then inside the card I've used just the embossing folder that comes in the set, and I've gone over the top of it with some gilding wax to really highlight the pattern. I've then done some flowers and matched in the gilding wax for them just to show you those. The flowers, by the way, are a separate die. I'll post the picture to that one in the comments. It doesn't come in this bundle, but it is available separately if you wish to. Same with the nested parts here. That again is another die, and I've just stamped one of my ladies onto that one as well and just gone around the edge of the larger one with some gilding wax too. The pins here are the ones that come in your essentials set. So if you're wondering how you'd use them, they're really lovely to just stick into your floral displays and bits, just to add a bit more depth and a little bit more of a wow factor. Moving on, I'll show you this one. Now when I first see this die, all I could see really were gates. It just reminded me of that sort of gated effect. So I wanted to show you how easy it would be to make a gatefold card with it. You could even punch a hole in each side if you wanted to and add some ribbon if you wanted like a tie-up ribbon effect. I've stuck mine onto acetate and then just scored my acetate to fold it behind the card. Gives the die more body and it also saves it from getting damaged. Gives it a bit more strength as well. And then on the inside of the card we have another bit of that gorgeous vellum that's just stuck in. Now I know a lot of you struggle with sticking vellum. One of the things I would highly recommend with this one is a lot of the foiling is quite big and bold, so you can actually glue underneath that if you wish to. On this card, because I was going to stick this big part in the middle, I've actually just glued it underneath that, and all the way around here is just left free because nobody's going to really get to that, and it doesn't matter if they do it. It's a strong weight vellum, so it's not going to get damaged by that. In the middle we then have the Forever stamp and another one of the ladies. Both of those stamps come off of your sets, so you could use them again. And then moving on, I'll show you another one. Now this one has one of the papers that comes from essential set. This is one of your Art Deco papers. And then on the top here we have that really nice little stamp that matches the sentiment die, which is good because it's up here. There's your little sentiment die. Now one of the bits I liked with this is the way it cuts these little hinges on the side as such. You can thread ribbon through it, how I have, and then I've just glued it to the ribbon to keep its arced form. So that's just brought this part out and give it a bit of a dome. The banners then that it cuts out the middle as the waist as such, I've used the black one underneath it, on top of it here as such, and then I've cut my own smaller version of the creamy coloured one and stamped on that with just a happy birthday stamp. In the background we have the embossing folder that comes from the same set out of your Mega Bundle, and with that one I've just gone over the top with some black Memento ink on a brayer. By brayering it you'll just get the top of the pattern. I did try it directly with the ink pad but it went through the holes a little bit, so if you do want to do that I would recommend you doing it with a brayer. It will help just keep to the top of it, but it's a really lovely, looks a bit like a iron gate again, doesn't it, where it's just got that top part. Then on the top of here we've got the edgeable, and on the top of the crease we then have that other die, the other border die, a $6.99 scalloped one as well. And then not to be missed, down here we have another one of our little ladies off of the stamp set as well. Okay, moving on to this one. So this is a bit of a beastly construction. This is designed more as like a candle holder, but if you wanted to, you could of course make a lid for it and turn it into a box. There's so many different things you could do with these. I just wanted to show you really how nice that large die looks if you put it onto just a piece of parchment. So I've just cut a window out of a piece of card. I've done that 4 times and then stuck those out in the middle of them. The reason I'm showing you this one is because I've actually bothered to bling it and add a little bit of diamantes to it, but of course if that's a bit too heavy for you, you can leave them plain, or you could glitter them. There's so much you could do with these really. Or like on one of our previous cards, you could just go over the top with some gilding wax and highlight some of the pattern if you wanted to. So many options. And then here we have the upside down version of that same die that I was just showing you, that scalloped border one, but this time it's cut out of gold mirror board and just stuck on facing downwards instead. And then that's how our little holder's made. Moving on to our next one. I told you, we've got a bit of a marathon today, haven't we? So many cards to get through. So this one is, again, that same large pattern I was just showing you, this one. But when I actually cut it for that lantern I was just showing you, I decided that it looked quite nice if you did it sort of tip to tip instead. So on this one, that's what I've done. So the card actually just closes up. It comes with a ribbon, so you can do it up in a bow. I've kept the outside pretty simple just by putting a bit of the embossing folder through with some mirror board in it and then just layering that on the top. And then when you open up the inside here, we have that die cut as I was just talking about. And then I've taken the sentiment die and I've cut 3 of them and I've stuck them back to back. So it creates this little part up in the middle here. And then the bars it cuts out the middle, the waist bit as such, I've attached my happy birthday to, so that that can just fold down flat to go inside your card. But if you do wish to have it sitting out, it can sit out and hold it out front. And then at the top here I've just used the same edgeable die just to continue the delicate work from the inside and match in with the theme. It's quite nifty that, isn't it? I quite like that one. And then moving on, I'll show you another one. So towards the back here we have a screen card. So this one again is a bit like the lantern really, and to be honest, if you didn't want it as a screen, you could see how easily you could turn this one into a lantern or a box, but it just gives you a different idea for it. Again, I've just taken 3 pieces of black card. I've cut a window out of the middle of them because I do quite like this vellum with nothing behind it. This is the patterned vellum, and you're going to really appreciate it if you do leave it plain so the light shines through it and shows up that pattern really nicely. So I've taken that, cut the windows out to put my parchment or vellum in, my printed vellum in. Then I've used the edgeable die just to cut the hole out of the bottom. Now if I turn this over you can see my workings because I haven't tidied this up because I wanted to show it to you. I've literally cut the shape out of the black card with that die. I've then cut the dies again in gold pearl card and stuck them over the top so that you've got that lacy effect. And it was really easy to do instead of me having to draw around it and cut it out. The die did it for me. So I've done that on all 3 of my panels. I've then taken the bit that it cut out, this is actually the waste from that cut in the black, and then I've stuck them to the top, so nothing was wasted and it continues the theme. Then around my windows I created, I've used them peel-offs that come from your Essentials set. Now I said they look really lovely, and hopefully you can pick up on these. That little intricate detail that the corners do that come in with those peel-offs really do, like, they're just worth their weight in gold. And as I said, if you do get the other colours from the Essentials set, then you could of course put the different colours inside the blocks and make even more of a feature of them. Underneath our stamped ladies we have that gorgeous little panel again. I really like that, and I think that'd be really nice as well if you wanted to stamp your own backing papers as well. So much you could do with these if you wish to. And that sort of completes our screen card. Then moving on, this I think is the heaviest card I've made. There's so much going on this one, but that was what Art Deco was all about really, or is all about, isn't it? So this time I've taken that really large panel and I've actually cut it out of the floral piece of the printed vellum and stuck that on. I've glued it in the middle, and then I've made these little rhinestones from that mesh. Do you remember we were looking at the mesh from the Essentials pack, and I said how we could cut it into borders or frames? This is one of them frames I've created. So just by hooking your scissors in and cutting it out into your square or your rectangle, whatever shape or size you want it to be. Of course you could make it thicker and have different rows if you wanted to. It's all just one piece as an actual frame. Stuck that on my card, and then I've mounted everything else in the middle of it. But the nice bit with these is if you do want to just trim around them, you can then use them as matching gems, which is what I've done down the middle and inside my flowers as well. So nothing's wasted with them. Even if you do end up with the smallest offcut, you can just use them as gems instead. Really lovely to work with those. Then on the sides of my cards we've got this single scallop. That is actually of course just the border, but where the border cuts four, I've just cut them into separates and attached them to the tops of each of my panels. And then I have my 4 different ladies from the stamp sets on each panel. Now I must admit I quite like these black and white, but there's nothing stopping you from colouring these if you wanted to. If you think it does need a little bit more to it, then of course you could colour on Valcar markers, watercolour pens, inks, paints, you name it. You could really go to town with those too. Down the bottom here we also have the border stickers. Now these are the ones I told you were like felt. Now only if you could feel this through the camera it'd be lovely, but they really are like a rubbery sort of felt texture, which is really nice to add actually a different texture to your card making. And the shiny bit from the tape really helps as well. It just gives you a nice shimmer too. And then in the middle I've got another strip of just my vellum that I've had, the printed vellum, that I've just popped on and then stuck a line of peel-offs down each side of it, just to add in the gold as well to there. Moving on to my last project. Now this is a really quick simple one. This is using that sort of Hollywood paper I was talking about earlier. Again comes from your Essentials set, and I've used both sides. We have the star side for the insert, and then the just plain scalloped one runs all the way around the sides of it. And then we also have a little bit of the star underneath the stamp. This is one of my favourite stamped images that you're going to get on your sheets. I really love this one. There's just something about that image that really yells Hollywood at me. And then you've got the love word again that comes on your set of stamps too. And then out from that panel we've just got the large edgeable die as well. That's such an intricate and gorgeous die that it's just hard to make a card without using that one, to be honest. I sort of wanted to use it on everything. So it is a bit of an awkward one. So that completes all of my cards today. So just to recap, you have your Mega Bundle, which consists of your 5 different dies. So starting with your edgeable, then you've got your 2 large background panels. We have the little sentiment style topper panel, then the border die, then we have our 2 glorious sets of stamps, and don't forget you're getting wording in here as well. So you've got your You're Invited, all that jazz, forever, love and wonderful in those. We then have the matching embossing folder, and then you're getting your 2 packs, which is going to give you 24 sheets of foiled printed vellum as well. That's your complete Mega Bundle, which is worth £89.90, but you can have all of that this week only for just £65. Then for your second offer, that's your Essentials set. You're going to be getting your 4 different sheets of 12x12s, or I should say 2 different sheets, but they're double-sided, so you get 4 sheets in total of designs. 3 packs of mesh, a gold, a black and a silver, a metre of gold braid, a metre of black braid, 3 peel-off sheets, the wheel of embellishment pins and the sticky back borders, and that set is worth £18.54, but this week only is only £13.91. Now, both sets, the essential set and the mega bundle, we have incredibly limited stocks of them, especially the mega bundle. That's why the items are not being sold individually this week and only as the mega bundle. We've waited a long time to get this. If you watched last week's video, you'll know that there was hold-ups in us getting our hands on this collection. No, we have finally got it, but we've got very limited stocks, and I can't tell you when it will be back in stock. Really have no idea. So if you do like the look of this, please don't miss out. Get in the comments, have it held, and we'll keep it in store for you for up to 7 days. Or of course you can order it online on our website and we'll post it directly to you. All the addresses and information for all of the different websites and that are in the comments, so please have a little look through them. Thank you very much for watching today's video, and I look forward to seeing you all next week when we have another new product to share with you. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.